Right, not since Schitt's Creek have I been so cautious to say the title of a show, or
Ah,
not a cluster funk Christmas coming to Comedy Central on December 4th. We have two of the stars, Vella Lovell and Cheyenne Jackson here. Oh my goodness, I love this movie. Anna Gasteyer, Rachel Dratch, comedy legends. They are part of this film as well too. Bella, first of all, I want to go ahead and ask you. You've talked a little bit about growing up in Santa Fe and your history with the town and leaving it and then having that story to come back. How did you feel connected to the character of Holly, especially while filming this movie?
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people can relate to moving away from their hometown and then kind of, having an aversion to that and not wanting to go back in time, but sometimes you lose sight of the things that really matter. And I think that's definitely Holly's journey in the movie. She's a businesswoman and she's all about her career and she doesn't like Christmas. But sometimes Christmas just slaps you in the face. So
Sometimes
that's what happens in the movie.
And Cheyenne, I want you to give us all the guys on here a early Christmas present. So I'm not a spoiler in the film, but there's a part where the character of Frank and Holly meet for the first time, and you walk in and you just have this essence of like, oh my goodness, he walked in. Is it the hair? Is it the stare? Is it your walk? What is that one thing that somebody can walk into a room and just get everyone's attention?
it's you got to have a great coat. You got to have an axe over your shoulder. You got to have somebody like Anna DeCosa behind the camera saying, slower, slower, move. Okay, now look to the right. And then you have to have somebody behind you throwing snow at you and then blowing it just the right time. So it's like a slow, 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 slow. And then like a, hey. Yeah.
Whoa.
It's all movie magic. But yeah, that was a very fun scene to shoot. That's the only time that I asked to see the monitor because I wanted to see like what that looked like.
Gotcha. All right.
So
Let's take notes. It's the snow, it's the axe, it's the coats. Sometimes it's an accent too. So that works as well too.
All of it, all of the things together. But yeah, that was very fun.
Question for both of you. Have you ever gone down a rabbit hole, especially, there's a lot of these holiday movies. Obviously, we have the ones we grew up with, but there's certain networks that just start showing them and it's every day and people get caught up. Have you ever gone down those rabbit holes, especially on a cold day of like, I'm just going to go ahead and watch these, holiday films nonstop all day or all weekend?
While we were shooting this, I hadn't really ever seen one of these before. And in our hotel room, it seemed like one of them was always playing on some channel. Yeah. So I would text Bella and be like, go to 36. There's a woman who owns a vineyard. And then go to 39. There's a woman who's, time traveled and she's here with her ghost child or whatever. It was so fascinating how they all were different, but all kind of the same, but all like so charming. And I saw why people love these so much. Yeah. I think Bella loves these movies though, right?
I do.
Guilty pleasure.
I love them because you never turn one of these Christmas movies on and then your world gets rocked upside down. Like you turn it on, you feel cozy, you feel good, things work out. You're just like ready to go, drink some hot chocolate and feel good.
And plenty of hot chocolate to drink in this movie. You can drink along with it. Some movies you do shots with. This is the one you drink hot cocoa with.
Yeah, but be careful because you don't want to burn your mouth. So be careful with those hot chocolate shots, but I approve.
Anna and Rachel, so funny. How many times do you guys have to stop filming because people were making each other laugh? And also, Clusterfunke. How many times did that get changed and that you had to reshoot a particular scene?
Honestly, they broke each other up more than anything, like because they have this decades long relationship and friendship. They would be behind the counter sometimes, just like riffing back and forth, and and they would both just break. And I don't know who would break more. I'm gonna say Dratch.
Well, yeah, I feel like when Rachel Dratch starts laughing, like you're done. Like she just her giggle is so infectious, and so once Dratch started laughing, it's just like well, we're all just laughing now.
Remember that day it was so hot, and it was like the bacon scene, and there was all that bacon, and we were in that, and it was we were getting ready to work out, and everyone was so unbelievably hot. Cause Rudy, this was shot in like during the middle of a heat wave. So we had ice packs under our sweaters, and it was just so hot.
Yeah.
But we all got the giggles because we were sweating, and Rachel, and there's just piles of bacon, and it was too much. It was too much.
That's an extra thing you want to make sure when you're watching this film to watch out, for those scenes, because you think it's in the winter, but obviously, filming in the summer. Cheyenne, I do want to ask you, as far as being a dad, Ethan and Willow, how has it been, especially holiday traditions, from before you had kids to now? And are you able to kind of enjoy those special moments of just everything and reliving your childhood?
Oh, yes. Thank you for asking about them, because they are my whole world. Well, my husband's Jewish. And so what we do is we celebrate all of it. And we have Christmas, and we have Hanukkah, and we have 8 crazy nights. And then we have, Christmas Eve. And I grew up very religious. And so Christmas was always about Jesus and never about Santa. So I'm trying to kind of give my kids a whole smorgasbord of things to celebrate. And really, I do look at all of the holidays through their eyes, and I try to make their world as magical and innocent as possible, because they're only this age for a finite amount of time. So yeah, it's pretty fun. We're going to go pick out our Christmas tree as soon as Thanksgiving's over. I start it's beginning to look a lot like, and everyone's like, too soon. Never too soon.
No.
It's never too soon. And now I get to know when the Cheyenne Jackson's family gets to celebrate, and I got to hear a little bit of singing live. I mean, that just made my morning right there.
Yeah. What else do you need?
I do want to ask, as far as All Shook Up pre-Broadway premiere here, 2005, you were in Chicago. Any plans for, either going back to Broadway or another, pre-Broadway tryout here in the Chicagoland area?
Oh, I would love it. I miss Broadway so much. I'm actually leaving for New York on Friday, because we're going to have a screening of this in New York, and I'm going to see a couple of shows and see some friends. I miss it so much. Broadway is my first love. I would love to. I've been talking to some friends trying to find like some kind of limited run in something. But yeah, an out-of-town tryout there would be, All Shook Up is such a, that was my first biggie, and it has such a place in my heart. I would love that. Let's do it. Let's produce it together.
Right now.
Cheyenne, Vella, thank you so much for your time today. A Clusterfunke Christmas, Comedy Central, December 4th. Thank you both so much for your time.